It's semifinal Saturday in the Southern Conference Softball Championship at Jim Frost Stadium in Chattanooga. A scenic and beautiful morning, and the top two seeds in the bracket face off in a winner's bracket game to get things underway. Samford and UNC Greensboro were absolutely dominant yesterday. UNCG, the #1 seed, a 19-4 dispatching of Wofford. A 15-run fourth inning featured Macy Michael and Avery Boquin home runs, but not to be outdone. Samford watched that game in the stands, eagerly awaited their opportunity, and when they took the field, they smacked Western Carolina 14-1. The conference's player of the year, Olivia Shaw, hit a big home run. She has been unstoppable in SoCon play, and as we look at our Visit Chattanooga bracket, you see Samford and UNCG in today's semifinal. The loser of this game will play either Wofford or Chattanooga later, with an opportunity to get to tomorrow's winner-take-all championship game. With Todd Agnew, Dave Friedman, glad you're along with us. These two teams have looked so good.
You know what? They packed, and then they unpacked their bats, and they knew exactly what to do with them once they got them out. But don't be fooled. Both these teams yesterday flashed some really good defense, and they also have the pitching to go the distance.
We've got lots to come from Chattanooga when we return. Mackenzie Johnson with a report from the field, our starting lineups, and the opening pitch. Samford and UNCG getting ready to begin this semifinal. They know each other well. They just played last weekend. Down to the field for Mackenzie Johnson.
Dave, I talked to both coaches before this, and Samford is ready to make the adjustments that they did not make last week against each other. Now, she said more specifically against pitcher Brooklyn Schroyer. She said she knows UNCG has been the best team all season, yet she's going to take last week as a lesson for this matchup today. UNCG said no games off. Even after clinching the first seed last game, they said they were still upset that they didn't win game 2. So I'm sure we're in for some good softball today.
Todd, the teams playing against each other after going 3 times last weekend. UNCG won the opener. That clinched the regular season title, a 3-0 win. Samford won the second game that day, 6-5, and then UNCG 8-5 in the third game. And Olivia Shaw, the player of the year, has been just unstoppable.
Yeah, she really has, and here's a good reason why. She is not afraid to take a gamble and try to lay down a bunt and use her speed.
So Phillips is retired, and that will bring up Shaw, who was 4 for 4 with a grand slam home run, 3 runs scored, and 5 RBIs yesterday. Facing Brooklyn Schroyer, who pitched in yesterday's game for UNCG, going 4 shutout innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. She missed some time during the year with an injury, but when she has been on the field, she has been dominant, the SoCon Pitcher of the Year. So you've got the Pitcher of the Year and the Player of the Year battling here.
The one number that really stands out for me with Shaw is the number of her on-base percentage, 468. That number is difficult to misinterpret. It says a lot, and it's almost always accurate. So you like the idea that if somebody gets on in front of her, she can move them around, and she doesn't necessarily have to sacrifice in order to get it done.
Schroyer throws a rise ball, a screw, a drop, an off speed, and a curve. Upper 60s, a talented transfer from Fairleigh Dickinson, where she won at a high level. Schroyer against Samford last weekend, 7 innings, 2 hits, and no runs. Walked 1 and struck out 10.
Did not really see her struggle at all yesterday. You worry about the long layoff, but she seemed to come in, figure out the strike zone early in that game, and then was overwhelming.
This morning I talked to Samford's coach, Megan Curry, and we talked about Schroyer a little bit, and she said that the key is laying off bad pitches. Shaw called out on strikes for the second out of the inning.
Well, I think she laid off a bad pitch there and got penalized for it. I'm not sure. I've seen Zanny, the home plate umpire, behind the plate one time. That one does just catch the edge. So I'll apologize first and finish up now. You know, he has umpired a game in which there were 13 strikeouts. And so you have to be ready. It's tough early, especially this time of the day. You're going through the batting order for the first time if you're hitting, and you're trying to figure out, where do I need to swing?
The adjustment that Megan Curry said was discipline in the box, but in the first inning, it doesn't make much of a difference. It's a 1-2-3 frame for the SoCon Pitcher of the Year, Brooklyn Schroyer, and UNCG coming up in the first. Presented by Visit Chattanooga, UNCG, first at bat of the game. And you look at their lineup, there just isn't really a weak spot.
No, there's not. And you see, we've got highlighted for you, Boquin. She's a shortstop with first baseman numbers, right, as far as hitting at the plate. She is part of a combination there, hitters 3, 4, and 5, that have produced 140 RBIs this year, and she's the last of those 3, but it is a strong part of the order.
Macy Michael, first pitch swinging deep down the left field line, but foul. 65 degrees at game time here in Chattanooga. And McKinley Turner, who pitched yesterday, went 4 innings against Western Carolina, yielded 1 earned run on 3 hits, struck out 5, and only had to throw 71 pitches in a blowout win.
You know, I watched both those games yesterday, UNCG and Samford, and the one thing that their pitchers did not have to really deal with was stress. You know, you can throw a lot of pitches in an unstressful game and be okay, or you can throw a lot of pitches in a very stressful game and mentally it can wear you out.
The wind is not really dangerous, about 6 miles per hour right now, but it does seem to be blowing out towards right center field.
Little typical here in the stadium. Has a tendency, you would think about right field, but it has a tendency to bring center field into play for home runs.
Phillips in foul territory, puts it away.
I don't know if everybody could hear, but Phillips does a nice job of calling off the catcher, wanting to make that catch.
You see the defense behind McKinley Turner, second best defense in the Southern Conference this year. Belfield was 2 for 2 with 2 walks and 3 runs scored in the win for UNC Greensboro yesterday.
Having worked a lot with catchers in camps, I can tell you they really enjoy either a first baseman or a third baseman that will communicate to them, I will take the pop-up. And a lot changed when they went to these helmet style, or these hockey helmet style helmets, right? Because it used to be you would just flip the mask off and it was no big deal. Now it's now it seems like you've got to take 5 minutes to get the helmet back on, and so they are reluctant to take them off. And it's always, again, nice to have somebody on that infield helping you out and taking care of those pop-ups.
McKinley Turner was a 2-way All-American at Southern Union State in Alabama last year. As a pitcher, she went 16-1. 163 strikeouts and 134 and 2/3 innings, and she hit .367, and she's got 2 quick outs here. The F5 by Michael and the strikeout by Belfield. Throws a curveball screw, a backdoor rise, and a lethal change in the mid-60s. Her coach, Megan Curry, calls her a dog.
She's a hard player to bunt against because she does have that wide variety of pitches. And some of the better ones in this league will make you not want to bunt against them because their pitching style can take you out of it.
At the beginning of the year, she was banged up and just didn't tell anyone and pitched through it. And eventually they noticed and put her on the shelf for a bit, but just has that mentality, wants the ball in the biggest games.
South is an interesting batter. It's rare that you see somebody that is tied for the team lead in home runs but has the team lead in walks, right? So that tells you a lot about her patience at the plate.
Yesterday, South played at first base. Today, she is the designated player.
These are 2 pitchers we're going to see today that if they don't feel like they can be consistent in an area where they want strikes, they are okay to make the adjustments. And they will find something else that works for them.
South tore her ACL between her freshman and sophomore year. Missed all of last year and has just had a terrific season. Drives this one left center field, and it's way gone.
Well, you noted the wind direction today, and I talked about the fact that that might bring center field into play, and went from being tied on this team in home runs to taking the lead, right? In on the hands. This one is right over the heart of the plate. Nice inside out swing.
Team leading 17th home run of the year for South, and UNC Greensboro draws first blood, and that was what got McKinley Turner in trouble against this team last weekend. She gave up 3 runs. They all came on a Nia South home run.
I think it's a mistake to consider UNCG as only a home run hitting team. I also think it's a mistake to forget that they can hit a lot of home runs, right? That's not their total identity, but it certainly is the front porch, and it's the headlines that grab. I really do feel like that UNCG, because of their starter today and because of their ability to hit the ball, they are a tournament-ready team.
Now, because of the rain on Wednesday, the tournament format has been altered. Tomorrow will be a winner-take-all championship. So previously, this game would have been huge, because if you won this, you get 2 chances tomorrow. The winner of this game merely makes it to the title game, and then whoever comes out of the loser's bracket has that equal chance tomorrow. So whoever loses this game plays later today. If they win, they're back on even footing come tomorrow morning.
You know, tomorrow's got all the elements of a Game 7 feel, no matter who's in it.
To right center field and deep, and off the top of the wall. Lainey Dean with a long single. Back-to-back well-hit balls off of McKinley Turner.
And I understand the reason why you have to do what the league did. That is, however, and this happens from time to time, sometimes your best team doesn't end up winning the tournament, right?
I'm just not sure what the alternative
I don't think there was one.
The NCAA says that they need their automatic qualifier to be known by the middle of the afternoon. There's not really a time to fit 2 games in. The only other option would have been to go to a single elimination bracket, which I'm not sure if that benefits the top seeds either.
I think it's fair in the sense that everybody knows what the situation is. It's not like they're making this decision today.
And right, exactly, and knew before play began.
Right.
You haven't fundraised for a dome yet. The rain here on Wednesday was
biblical. Yeah, sometimes, right?
I mean, you could have sat around and maybe you could have got in some innings, but you definitely were in a position where it might have been stop and start, and you might have started and not been able to finish, and the decision to wipe out the day was made, and it rained most of the day. Pushed the tournament back.
The original forecast was for some breaks and for some opportunities, and those breaks and opportunities never appeared. I have to believe UNCG is, look, they're always excited about a home run, but how much of yesterday was just one of those days, and would it carry over? And so far, you feel like with that home run already, maybe some of it is going to carry over.
This one is struck well to left center field and off the wall. Hitting the bag at third, Dean will hold there. And Avery Boquin's got a 2-out double. Michael popped out and Belfield struck out, but Nia South with a home run, Dean with a long single, and Boquin with a double. And we will get a trip to the circle and a conversation among the Samford Bulldogs as 3 straight very well hit balls. And if we're being honest, Samford's lucky to be down just 1-0.
Absolutely. I feel like if there had been a change, a pinch runner in this game.
Yep.
At first base, right? Or
yep,
at the time at Dean, she might have scored on that hit. And we did not see a lot of substitutions in day one. We saw several yesterday, and I feel like we might see more of that later in this game and for the rest of the afternoon.
You had that incident at the end of the fourth game yesterday where the Chattanooga coaching staff had not informed the umpire of a change and nobody caught it. I am very, very clear that any changes today will be prompted by the coaching staff.
Everybody, yeah, they'll all remember. And usually, everybody does, not usually, everybody does have a system in play to catch that. And it's not just one coach, it's two coaches, it's three coaches. It might even be a fourth person on the bench that's tracking those, and it just got away from them for a moment.
Hadley Gardner is a key batter here. It's 1-0. A base hit would make it 3-0. A freshman team member in the SoCon a season ago. Gardner during the regular season hit .235 with 3 home runs and 18 knocked in. And yesterday was 3 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. That is to left, and the shortstop will backtrack, and Olivia Shaw will make the play. So the home run by Nia South gets UNCG on the board, but they leave 2, and it's 1-0 after an inning in Chattanooga.
Remember how summer felt? Pure, unfiltered joy. Days filled with sun-soaked adventures. And the kind of fun you never wanted to end. That feeling, it's waiting for you in Chattanooga. From breathtaking mountain views to secret waterfalls and hidden wonders, adventure here feels like a childhood discovery. Savor the flavors of summer and make new friends. Give yourself permission to be carefree again. This is Chat Summer.
It's the moment you dream of, the moment you work for, train for, run wind sprints when nobody's watching for, the moment when hours of gym time, court time, prep time, all culminate into this time, the moment when millions of bounces, blocks, and boards all add up to this, your moment. Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
It was a banner year for the UNCG Spartans, and they have a lot of award winners. And oh, by the way, so too does Samford. Olivia Shaw, the Player of the Year, but Schroyer and Boquin and Brenneman all honored by the SoCon. That's what happens, Todd, when you win 40 games, win every conference series, and go 17-4 in the league.
Yeah, and I think it's also what happens when you know what you want, right? And they've been building this team consistently the same way for the last couple of years. And when you do that, you get a reputation, and players hear about that. They want to come play for you.
39-18 during the regular season this year, 33 wins in 2024, 37-23, 39 wins in 2022. This is a Greensboro program that is used to winning. They were in that championship game 2 years ago, losing to Chattanooga 9-5. 3 SoCon titles, 6 runner-ups, and this is a program that Janelle Brenneman has done a very nice job with. Conference Coach of the Year 4 different times.
And now that some of the energy has dissipated, that opening inning energy, it's time for these leadoff hitters to get patient. People were jumping early. Now you want to work these pitchers.
Janelle Brenneman was a All-American on multiple occasions and played pro softball. She's in the Hall of Fame of her college, Bloomsburg University, and her high school. To left field, easy play for Hadley Gardner. UNCG started softball in 1985. They've been in D1 since '92, 6 SoCon regular season titles and 3 Southern Conference tournament titles. They also won 3 Big South regular season titles and 4 Big South tournament titles, so that they've been used to winning. Addison Smith is the hitter. That game plan that Megan Curry talked about, making Brooklyn Schroyer throw strikes, not chasing bad pitches. How do you view the offensive attack so far?
Well, again, just be patient, right? And realize that maybe sometimes the most hittable pitch you're going to get is going to be the first one. So it's about locking in and having a game plan when you walk into the batter's box.
5 up and 5 down for Brooklyn Schroyer, and Brantley Drake will stand in.
Really, the best plate appearances are by batters that have already, as I said, they've got a game plan in mind on how they want to approach the pitcher. And you always want to try to get a pitcher to throw you your pitch. You don't want to swing at their pitches.
Six up and 6 down for the SoCon Pitcher of the Year, Brooklyn Schroyer, UNCG. A 1-0 lead as we head to the last of the second as Schroyer gets the strikeout. UNCG sent 6 to the plate in the first inning, left 2, got the home run from Nia South and lead 1-0. And here they come in the bottom of the second inning with Williams, Rabinold, and McKinnon.
See what sort of sequence of pitches Turner will throw here. Certainly one of the options is to stay low in that strike zone if possible, like that on that corner.
Curveball, screw, backdoor rise, and a lethal change for McKinley Turner, who is a strikeout pitcher and gets that one foul down the third baseline.
And I had mentioned earlier, you know, bunting against pitchers that can throw the drop and the rise is difficult. I don't know if we'll see it today, if anybody will get into that small ball mentality at any point. But that's when you have to adjust your body to that pitch in order to get the right bat angle going.
First strikeout for Turner. And Chrissy Rebenold will stand in, who did not play in yesterday's game, the only change to the UNCG lineup.
Now this is game 9 in this tournament, and I would say 7 out of the 9, maybe even 8 out of the 9 have started with pitchers struggling in the first inning and then locking it down for most of the game. And there's always been big innings, yes, but pitchers have settled in and figured things out. You can see right there that how that changeup is causing these batters to be cautious here. This batter starting her hips first and then pulling off of the pitch.
Rebenold takes outside. Hit 294 during the regular season. Didn't start a ton. 1 home run and 4 RBIs. Third strikeout of the game, and back-to-back Ks for Turner.
I don't know we're going to see 23 runs today, which is the number combined from these two clubs yesterday, right?
I think they scored 30. 19 for UNCG and 14 for Samford. I don't think you were a math major.
No.
And I don't think we're going to see that many runs either.
And by the way, you could get an agreement on the math major comment. So.
McKinnon walked in her only plate appearance yesterday. Winner advances to tomorrow's championship game. The loser will play later today in an elimination game with a berth in that title game on the line. UNCG and Chattanooga have been the two dominant teams in the league over the last decade, and they both are alive on semifinal Saturday, though Chattanooga needed dramatics yesterday to stay in the tournament.
The only lower seed to advance this far.
Needed 4 runs in the 7th inning.
We could see some really good performances today in the circle between these two teams.
Nice changeup, striking out the side. McKinley Turner, big comeback inning for the Samford starter. And it's 1-0 after 2 as Megan Curry looks on, and we'll talk to her when we come back. Mackenzie Johnson is with the coach of Samford.
Coach Courier, a lot of energy from both teams that first inning, but your girls seemed to really settle in the second inning. What was the difference?
Yeah, I think just McKinley kind of settling in after the few big hits. And we told them before the game, this team's going to hit well, and it's not going to be a 0-0 ball game in the 6th, 7th. We're going to have to put up runs. So we're talking about our adjustments. How do we get in here and have good at-bats, and hopefully it starts happening.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach.
What adjustments is she speaking of?
Offensively, I think really just being patient. I thought that they came out. Again, the energy, everybody got caught up in the momentum. And making sure, as I said, having that game plan when you step in there.
6 up and 6 down thus far for Brooklyn Schroyer. And she faces the bottom of the order, Wilds, Hubbard, and Hart.
Look, they could have, they took a fairly educated guess before they all went to bed last night who they would be batting against. And they know the scouting reports, and each batter knows what pitch it is that they want and when they think they might see it. And that's why, you know, I referred to earlier, it could be the first pitch, it could be the second pitch. Try not to help the pitcher out, and as soon as you see yours, go after it. And the strongest hitters, in addition to having a game plan, are going to be confident no matter what the count is today.
That's the pitch that the coaching staff wants Samford to lay off of.
It's kind of a scenario where you want the pitcher to come to you. You don't want to go out and help them.
So the count runs full on the leadoff hitter Wilds in the 3rd, with Samford trailing 1-0. And we'll see if Schroyer throws a strike. Probably a strike whether it was swung on or not. Strikeout number 3 for Schroyer.
Now, the second leadoff batter in a row to take Schroyer to a full count. I think that's going in the right direction. The next thing you want to see is 3-2 success.
I mean, that was a pitch she had to swing at, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether the umpire expands the zone on a 3-2 or not, mentally you have to.
Hubbard pops up the bunt, and Macy Michael makes the play.
We've seen a lot of those in this tournament. Players getting underneath these balls for the bunt attempt.
Left fielder number 23, Katie Hart.
And when you have a pitcher that can control the strike zone up and down, that becomes more of a tendency.
Hart down the line, a fair ball. First hit of the game for Samford comes out of the 9-hole with the Birmingham Southern transfer, Katie Hart, who came with her coach from Birmingham Southern to Samford.
Perfect timing with 2 outs. And I say it's perfect timing. You see the split grip there. One of the few slappers. Well, actually, we'll see one for Wofford or for Chattanooga that has a split grip slapper. A little bit more control of the bat in that instance.
Hart is 10 for 10 stealing bases. Do you think she will be in motion?
Yeah, I think you're okay here because if you're not successful, it's early in the game. It's not like you're chasing runs, and you do return with the top of your order.
She goes, and she's out.
This is why having an elite catcher at this level is so important.
McKinnon throwing down there, and the tag in time. 1-0. UNCG continues to lead.
big. For the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
UNCG 1 and Samford nothing. And Mackenzie is with Janelle Brenneman.
Coach, we talked about it before the game, and we seen it in the first inning. Talk a little bit about your team's energy and what they bring.
Oh, they are just having a blast, right? We're playing together, we're having fun, and we're competing really well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach. Sure.
Can't ask for a whole lot more than that, but Todd, as we talked about before the game, they haven't faced adversity yet.
No, not yet. And, you know, when's it going to start? And nobody knows. It's hard to believe that this team wouldn't win this title. I saw Coach Brenneman yesterday after their win, and she just talked about how she felt like her team had been pent up, right? The tournament started late. They hadn't been able to get out and really do their thing, and she was excited on two fronts. One, that no rust had settled in, and two, that, you know, they performed that way.
Well, they went from Samford over the weekend straight here to Chattanooga because it didn't make a great deal of sense to go all the way back to Greensboro and then come back here. And then you had the rain out on Wednesday, so they have had a lot of time. Macy Michael, last year's conference freshman of the year, first team this year, popped out her first time up. They went to the zoo on Tuesday. You can walk from the stadium here to the zoo. That's going to be an infield single.
Excellent play by the catcher here by Campbell to get down the first base line and back up an errant throw. You don't see this as often as you should. This is a nice play by Phillips. Probably should have just tucked it under her glove and held on to it. That might have prevented an extra base hit.
Do you expect a bunt?
Not yet, no.
Belfield bunts and moves the runner, and the throw is into right field. The runner reaches at first, and going to third base is Michael.
One side executes it perfectly and the other does not.
So first and third, and nobody out. And South, who homered her first time up, and who homered against Turner in Birmingham last weekend, will be at the plate.
Boy, Phillips was really challenged there, charging hard, throwing across her body. 80% roughly of the errors committed in college softball is a throwing error. And we haven't seen a lot of those in this tournament. We've seen miscues, we've seen dropped balls, but not a lot of errant throws, and that one is A wide throw. It's tough for a second baseman to take care of that.
Samford's going to bring the infield in here against South to try to choke off the run at the plate. Belfield from first base. South takes low. Do you expect Belfield to bolt for second?
Yes, first and third strategy here.
Three balls and no strikes. If you walk South, you set up forces at every base. But there are no outs in the inning, and you feel like you're one big hit away from being in big trouble if you're Samford.
Now hitting runs in play here.
Michaels at third and Belfield at first. South ahead 3 balls and 1 strike, takes ball 4. So the cleanup hitter, Dean, comes up with the bases full. When I talked to Janelle Brenneman a month or so ago, and we went through the lineup, and I said, tell me about Dean. The first thing she said was, great with runners on base. Sweet swing to all fields, thrives with driving in runs, a really, really tough out. And she comes up here, 3rd in the league in doubles, 4th in the league in home runs, 4th in the league in RBIs, 6th in total bases. Nowhere to put her.
Well, as you said, really good with bases loaded. Here's her opportunity. And this is where Turner, instead of being just a thrower, she needs to become a pitcher, right? You can throw in high school. This is where you need to play some chess in the circle.
Lainey Dean in yesterday's blowout win for UNCG. 2 for 3, a 3-run home run, 4 RBIs.
I'd mentioned earlier that pitchers had struggled in the first innings, but had come back strong. But there had always been that follow-up big inning. This is where you tell your infield, go to your best out. Wherever you are comfortable and 100%. Turner maybe being a little too cautious here.
Dean pops it up to short left field. Gardner coming in, and there will be no tag up. So a productive out for McKinley Turner as Katie Hart put that away out in left field.
Your confident pitchers are okay to challenge in. This one is down. It's at the knees. It's where you want it to be. Hard to get underneath that one and strike down and create that long fly ball.
Here's Boquin, who doubled her first time up and was 2 for 3 yesterday, including a 3-run shot.
Talked about this now being a chess match more than a pitcher-batter duel. And it continues here. Just kind of takes a little bit of pressure off your defense.
We talked about with no outs getting the sure out. Do you want to come home here?
If it's my best out, yeah. If it's my sure out, I'm okay with it. It's 1-0. I think the sooner you can get out of pitching to UNCG, the better. And that's what happens, you know, when you miss the pitch that you thought was going to be the out pitch. Had to come back and throw the next one. And you just miss.
We're going to have a runner out at second base. Layla Carr is going to run for South.
Running for South, number 16, Layla Carr.
So Carr at second with Belfield now at third and Beauquin at first, and Hadley Gardner at the plate.
So important here to get ahead in the count now that you've struggled in this inning with a pair of walks.
Turner starts with a strike. Michaels led off with an infield single. Belfield bunted, but an error on the throw put runners on the corners. South walked, Dean popped out, Beauquin walked. Gardner is behind 0-2.
I think you and I addressed this the other day. You look back at your scorebook right now and you realize that the only player to score, you know, has moved into scoring position or did move into scoring position on an error to third base and then eventually was forced home on the walk.
To shortstop, Olivia Shaw comes home and gets the force.
On this field, that's the best out. Nothing at first from the shortstop is guaranteed, but coming home quickly, charging in the same direction. Watch this right here. Toes up, and then step on the gas pedal with a good throw. Perfect.
The ball was not hit hard enough to try to turn two, right?
Correct.
Big batter. One in, it's a 2-0 game. The base is full. Williams struck out her first time. And she's behind 0-2.
And we had a similar situation yesterday where the third baseman checked a runner and then couldn't make the throw in time to get the out. And that's why I talk about just get the most comfortable out that you can make.
Feels like a big batter. A base hit by Williams, and it's 4-0. But if Turner can get her out, playable in short right field for Nelson. An inning is over. So in 3 innings, UNCG has scored twice, but they've left 5. But the Spartans with the 2-0 lead. SoCon softball in the scenic city made possible thanks in part to support from Coca-Cola, made in Chattanooga by Chattanoogans since 1899. And visit Chattanooga. Make memories in Chattanooga. Lookout Mountain in the background, the riverfront in the foreground. A lovely day in the scenic city. And so far, so good for Brooklyn Schroyer and the UNCG Spartans, who lead 2-0 in this semifinal contest, with the winner going to tomorrow's championship game, the loser playing later today to try to scrap their way into Championship Sunday. Brooklyn Schroyer has faced the minimum. She allowed a 2-out single in the third inning, but Katie Hart was cut down trying to steal second, and that's why Brandy Phillips is at the plate here.
Yeah, this has been a really linked top third of the order for Samford. At least it was in the first game. Phillips, Shaw, and Campbell all doing their job, getting on base, scoring runs, and it all got started with this player right here in Phillips, who had a successful day as the leadoff batter.
And this is such a key batter because Shaw and Campbell are what make this team go. And if they are able to bat with a runner on base, it just changes the calculus. But they're not going to bat with a runner on base because Hadley Gardner is going to reel that one in, and there's one down.
In the third inning, the game is still early. In the fourth inning, it feels like the game is now late, right? It's just, you look down, I'm sure you look down as a batter, as a player, and you think, we may only have one or two more plate appearances per player left.
This one to right field, and run down by Riley Williams. I'm not sure in any inning against Brooklyn Schroyer if you feel like you're going to have a lot more opportunities. She has been an ERA of 1.58 this year, and really, really tough yesterday, and really tough first matchup with Samford. And if you're going to beat UNCG, someone's going to have to come up with the formula to scoring against Brooklyn Schroyer, who just hasn't yielded much.
So in essence, it's always late against this pitcher.
Well, it's getting late early or something like that. I mean, just here in Chattanooga, she's been in control from the beginning. Schroyer is from Southern California, spent 2 years at Fairleigh Dickinson. Samford coach Megan Curry looking for an answer. That's not going to be it. Campbell pops it up, Dean reels it in, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Brooklyn Schroyer, who has faced the minimum through 4. 2-0, the Spartans lead, and they'll come up in the fourth.
And the presenting sponsor of the 2026 SoCon
UNCG with single runs in the first and the third, 5 left on base. 8-9-1 for the Spartans in inning number 4 as they look to add to the advantage against McKinley Turner, who badly needs a shutdown inning for Samford. It just doesn't feel, Todd, like there are a lot of runs to be had against Brooklyn Schroyer, and any further you get behind is problematic.
Yeah, I think we might find out pretty soon if Samford is willing to adjust and try to manufacture some runs. Now, they have tried to take a bag today, got caught stealing. But anything to sort of prime the engine, right? Prime that offense.
Fifth strikeout for McKinley Turner. And Madeline McKinnon will come up. The second game here today, an elimination contest between Chattanooga and Wofford. It will be the 4th game of the tournament for both teams.
And I feel like those two teams are going to start to experience some pitching problems, whereas what we're seeing here in this game is two pitchers that still have their stuff right now.
Well, I think there's a little doubt that Taylor Long is going to be in the circle again for Chattanooga after throwing nearly 200 pitches last night, but Frank Reed does not seem particularly enthused about putting anyone else in the circle.
No, and so for the problem for Taylor Long is this: your speed pitchers, if they're asked to throw that many innings, it's not an arm issue, it's a speed issue, and some of those pitches start to look flat to the batters, and they are flat, and you'll start to hit those. If you have pitchers that can spin the ball or aren't asked to pitch a lot of innings, they can typically throw their better stuff longer.
Turner changeup, strike 3 called. I think you made the point yesterday. Sometimes it's the defense and pitching that can spark the offense.
Yeah.
If McKinley Turner could get a 3rd straight out and get her team out 1, 2, 3 here, you've got the middle of the order coming up in the 5th for Samford.
Momentum can change with your defense more so sometimes than your offense. We've seen excellent plays by shortstops and left fielders and second basemen that have sparked an offensive rally. You know, the Samford offense feels like it's neutralized so far, but UNCG, this is a far different game so far than what they experienced yesterday. Now, it just so happened yesterday in the 4th inning is when they put on a historic exhibition of hitting.
They sent 20 batters to the plate.
Now, there's a coach that didn't mind seeing it yesterday and would like to see more of it today.
This one is ripped deep to left and gone. Macy Michael homers for a 2nd straight day.
Pitchers that can, or batters that can recognize the pitch early. Look at this. Gets a really good jump on it. That's not guesswork, that is cage work. Well, Turner has to settle back in. I think she's done a good job today of finding, again, a sequence of pitches that has worked for her, getting ahead in the count, moving the ball around.
2 of the 3 runs scored by Greensboro. Solo home runs by South in the first and Michael here in the 4th.
See if Turner can't make this batter protect the plate here with 2 strikes. She did.
Michael's home run makes it 3-0 for UNCG. End of 4 in Chattanooga.
Remember how summer felt? Pure, unfiltered joy. Days filled with sun-soaked adventures. And the kind of fun you never wanted to end. That feeling, it's waiting for you in Chattanooga. From breathtaking mountain views to secret waterfalls and hidden wonders, adventure here feels like a childhood discovery. Savor the flavors of summer and make new friends. Give yourself permission to be carefree again. This is Chat Summer.
For over 60 years, Holston Gases has been your trusted local partner, fueling industries, powering businesses, and serving communities with safe, reliable gas solutions. From propane and welding supplies to dry ice and medical gases, we deliver the products you need with the top-tier customer service you deserve. Family-owned and locally managed since 1958, Holston Gases is your hometown gas partner. Holston Gases, trusted, reliable, local.
Well, we mentioned that UNCG went straight from Birmingham to Chattanooga, and they visited the zoo after they practiced here on Tuesday. Avery Boquin met a camel, and Ryan Jones hung out with a goat, and Salem Ward and Kaylin Belfield hung out with a brown cow, and Chrissy Rabinold fed a goat, and so on and so forth.
Sounds like a field trip, right?
That's right.
My day at the zoo.
Absolutely.
So. Well.
When in Rome.
yeah. Well, what would make a good day for Samford is get the leadoff batter aboard, right? Something that they have not done in this game. Create some traffic.
Brooklyn Schroyer has pitched from ahead. And that is a dangerous, dangerous place to be if you're Samford on offense. 1-2. Grounded to third. And between the wickets of Michael.
That's one of those you take, right? That's not necessarily the best way to get on base, but offensively, any way to get on base right now. And Samford has not had an offensive threat so far in this inning, and it's still not really dangerous at this point, obviously. I think the score would still allow you, if you wanted to think about playing a little small ball.
But you can't give them outs down 3-0.
Yeah.
I mean, you've only got 9 outs. I'm not sure that you can give one up to advance a runner down 3-0. But nothing else has worked against Brooklyn Schroyer.
Both these third basemen today have made an error, and in this game, the one thing that a third baseman has to do that nobody else has to do is they immediately, their eyes have to go from the pitcher to home plate. They don't get to follow the ball in because they have to be so prepared and ready for anything that comes their way. And even if you are at the top of your game, it is so difficult.
Fourth strikeout for Schroyer. Here's Brantley Drake, who struck out her first time. As dominating as UNC Greensboro has looked, you're one more base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, we've seen these 3-run, 4-run leads here evaporate in a hurry.
It's the old bloop and a blast.
Yeah. Well, again, I think the biggest difference in this game so far has been offensive pressure.
Well, this is probably the most pressure Schroyer has faced. A runner on with 1 out and behind in the count, 3-1 against Drake, the designated player who went 2 for 3 yesterday. And she takes ball 4, and now the tying run comes to the plate. Wilds, the transfer from Liberty, will come up here in a big spot. 239, 3 home runs and 18 RBIs during the regular season. She struggled to start the year, but kind of settled in, was playing behind some of the better players in the country at Liberty a year ago. She knew someone at Samford, thought the schools were sort of similar. Been around a successful mid-major and brings a winning mentality to the team. And we're going to have a conference before Wild steps to the plate.
Yeah, we're going to have an offensive conference and a defensive conference. And defensively, you're talking about locking it down. UNCG has been here before. You see that defense. With the 1 error today, right side of the field has been dominant all year long. A combined 4 errors between the second baseman and the first baseman. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner at first base for Samford. Maddie Davis is going to head out there. And in situations like this, I've said it often, not necessarily the fastest runner, but the smartest runner.
They bunt, and Lainey Dean patiently lets it roll foul.
You like that? I was going to ask you before you asked me. So, because consistently today, I've not gotten it right.
I think it's unorthodox, down by 3 to give up an out when you've only got 8 of them to play with. And this bunt has popped up, and now you've given up the out and not advanced anybody.
So many of those. It's what happens when you can't get the right bat angle.
That's a pitch you have to lay off, right?
Yes. Look, we talk about swinging at the right pitches. We should also add you have to be able to bunt the right pitches. If it's up in the zone, you almost have to lay off of it because the chances of getting on top of it are limited.
Schroyer has just been so dominant. I think the thought is you move the runners and 1 hit and suddenly it's a 1-run game. Nelson at second and Davis at first. Brooklyn Schroyer pitches out of trouble in the 5th. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 left aboard. And Greensboro continues to lead 3-0. Penske Truck Rentals for life's big moves. Freshman Claire MacArthur takes over on in the circle. Freshman from Warner Robins, Georgia, gets the ball. We'll talk about her after we hear about what Mackenzie heard from the UNCG huddle.
Yeah, we saw Samford make a little comeback there, or try to, but the girls at UNCG do not seem right out at all. They seem to have very much confidence in Shower, and they seem to be ready to get back in the huddle and go hit.
Good philosophy.
Yeah, trust your pitcher, right? Especially that one.
Sharply to third. Phillips across the diamond for the first out. MacArthur pitched against UNCG last weekend, 4 2/3 innings, 1 unearned run on 5 hits. And that very well may have been her best appearance of the season. Kind of wonder about the decision to go to MacArthur instead of Reese Hickey or Sarah Bond, and I assume that has to do with the score of the game and where we are in the game, but by no stretch of the imagination is it a blowout and is Samford out of it. But I think if it was tighter or if they were in the lead, we may have seen a different option.
Yeah, I mean, these coaches have such a good feel for their team. They understand the situation. They understand what's being called at the plate, who has the best pitches maybe to counter the next portion of the lineup. And so many teams in this tournament have failed with their bullpens to either some have even failed to use them at all, right? And sometimes we've seen these pitchers come out of the bullpen and just not able to hold the lead. And Samford and UNCG might be in a different position where they have a couple of options.
So MacArthur hits Dean, a 1-out base runner for UNCG, already leading 3-0 here in the last of the 5th. These teams played 3 times at Samford last weekend. Greensboro won the first game 3-0 to clinch the regular season championship, and that more or less clinched the number 2 seed for Samford. Samford won the second game 6-5, and then Greensboro took the third game in the series 8-5. And we're going to get a runner at first base for Lainey Dean.
Dean is not the quickest runner that they have, and I would think after taking a ball off the foot, it could even be a little worse.
Jasmine Mejia running at first base. Here's Boquin.
Where the Spartans have excelled today has been hitting with outs, right? Especially their 2-out hitting. They're not there yet, but at least in this inning. But they are 4 of 8 today, hitting with a pair of outs. And Samford has struggled on their offensive end with 2-out hitting.
A ground ball out, a hit batter, and a walk from Claire MacArthur. Gardner will come up, but I'm not so sure she's going to face MacArthur.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. This is not the start you wanted. Sometimes these visits are just about reinstilling, right, some confidence. And this is a conversation that is primarily directed at the pitcher. You know, sometimes you just have to, I was thinking earlier today, in context, think about a coach being able to pull the point guard over in between plays, right, and saying, okay, remember, this is what we're going to do here. This is the situation. This is what I want to see. And where you can't do that in that sport, you can do it in this sport. Let's see if we can't show UNCG the lower half of the baseball. Make that the only part of the ball that's hit, or the softball. Make that the only part of the ball that's hittable.
Gardner is 0 for 2 today after going 3 for 4 yesterday. The winner of this game gets to tomorrow's winner-take-all championship at 10 a.m. The loser will play later today in an elimination game, with the winner going to tomorrow's title game. And because of the change in the bracket due to weather on Wednesday, it's not a normal format tomorrow. It's a simple winner take all. The team that wins this game doesn't get a second chance at it tomorrow. To right center field. No one's catching this one. It one hops the wall. In to score is Mejia. Boquin behind her. It's a 2 RBI double for Hadley Gardner.
If you think about a softball, the best part of the softball for a pitcher to get the batters to hit is the very lower half. The worst part is just above it, where you can elevate the ball with some power, and it's not even an inch, it's centimeters of a difference.
Williams' first pitch swinging. So it's 5-0, Todd. At what point does Janelle Brenneman start having the same conversation she did yesterday about limiting the number of pitches that Brooklyn Schroyer throws and saving everything she's got for tomorrow?
I think at some point, how much information do you want to give UNCG in a rematch? Do you want to just bag the rest of it, see what you can do offensively next inning?
in the UNCG bullpen, Ryan Jones has begun to loosen up.
Yeah, again, how much do you want to show them, right? Do you want to show them a different picture? There you get a look at Jones. Or do you want to make sure that if they do see each other again, that it's the first time you see Jones?
I'm just not sure that they're going to change pitchers tomorrow until they need to, if in fact this game continues the way we're going. I mean, if you took Schroyer out and Jones closed the deal, you go to tomorrow with Schroyer not having thrown that many pitches, and I think you're going to probably ride that horse as long as you can.
I mean, there has been absolutely no success today in that top third of that order for Samford.
Betsy Eatman is going to pinch hit here
against Schroyer, and that's Schroyer's going to deal with the number 9 hitter, and then back to the top of the order. That is 0 of 6.
Yep.
Right.
The top 5 batters in the order for Samford so far today are 0 for 10, and only one has reached base. Nelson reached on an error last inning. Eatman pinch hitting with 2 on.
Umpires have asked to see the head coach and the pitcher, and I'm just wondering if there was something in her form that they wanted to warn her about.
Plate umpire Jason Zaney saying it's 1 ball and no strikes.
MacArthur needs to find a way to get some strike zone control here. Look, if you're struggling, you throw what you're most confident in, the pitch that you can spot, and if it gets hit, at least they hit your best pitch.
Slowly to second base, pitch over to end the inning. And while the scoreboard doesn't look great for Samford, UNCG keeps stranding runners on. They score 2 and leave 2. They've left 7, but it's 5-0 Spartans after 5. Scenic City made possible thanks in part to support from Coca-Cola, made in Chattanooga by Chattanoogans since 1899. And visit Chattanooga, make memories in Chattanooga. And so far it's been a memorable weekend for the UNCG Spartans. A blowout win yesterday, 19-4, featuring a record-setting fourth inning where they scored 15 times. And today, so far so good for Brooklyn Schroyer, who has not allowed a run and has yielded only a hit in 5 frames.
You're a batter now in this part of the lineup. What you want to do is you want to win the first couple of pitches. And the fact that Hart is swinging early is an indication to me that she's got a good plan. She hasn't been able to execute it.
She's behind 0-2, and that was just off the plate.
That's just Schroyer saying, all right, I'm going to try to expand the strike zone a little bit.
Probably smart.
Yeah, and because she has been in command most of the day.
She has pitched ahead in the count so frequently.
Well, Hart's done a good job of not chasing 2 pitches out of the strike zone here.
Oh, we go from 0-2 to 3-2. If Hunt can reach, well, whether she reaches or not, we're going to cycle back to the top of the order. And who knows? But 5 runs against Brooklyn Schroyer feels like a big hill to climb. Schroyer fields her own position.
When you show that bunt as part of your timing and then you bring it back, you do see a lot of this. Little soft contact. And that is a pitcher doing their job. If they can create soft contact, that's a win. Talked about winning the first 2 pitches. Nice take here by Phillips. This is also where you have to be willing to take early a tough strike.
The last time Schroyer gave up 5 runs or more in a game was all the way back on the 28th of March at Western Carolina. Before that, it was at the end of February against Indiana, and has only happened 3 times all year. Dating back to the 11th of April, this is the 9th appearance for Schroyer, and she has given up a total of 4 earned runs.
I mean, she's taken away almost everything today that you would think of. You might ask your hitter, say, look, we're going to hunt speed. You're either going to swing at the fast stuff or you're going to swing at the slow stuff. Pick one and get committed. And I feel like Schroyer has done such a nice job of changing that. And you can say, all right, let's commit to a zone, a part of the plate early. Well, again, we talked about sequencing these pitches. That zone's been moving. Look at that, right? Didn't think it would be out there. Especially when you're a batter in that situation, you're thinking about taking away that outside part, but you didn't expect it, and nice job to bring it back into the strike zone by the pitcher.
5th strikeout for Brooklyn Schroyer, 2 up and 2 down in the 6th, and here is the Conference Player of the Year, Olivia Shaw.
First pitch fastball swing, why not, right? See if you can't get something to work. I just feel like I've seen a few times in this tournament where it's gone, you've gone through your batting order once or twice and the light goes on. Aha, I figured it out. This is what we're going to do. Schroyer so far is just, it feels like she's unscrewed the light bulb and said, you're just not going to figure me out today.
Entering this game, Shaw was 9 of her last 13 at the plate. Strikeout and a pop out against Schroyer so far today.
You know, another strategy that you might have tried 3 innings ago is shorten the bat. Let's just think about driving the ball and making contact. I don't know if you're going to shorten the bat and make 8 singles in this inning, right?
Seems sort of unlikely, but got to have a plan of some sort. This one, the left field foul.
Schreier also has the advantage now that whatever the tendency is or she has shown, she can disregard that and just say, I'm going to change things up today. I know what your scouting report says about me. It's going to be a little bit different, though.
In the regular season, Shaw hit .381 with 11 homers and 53 RBIs, 120 total bases. Brooklyn Schreier, a 1-2-3 sixth inning in total and utter command. Gets Olivia Shaw to end the top of the sixth inning.
Spring doesn't just bring a new season, it builds champions. From the crack of the bat to every moment under the lights, different fields, same pursuit. Greatness isn't given, it's earned. Rep by rep, play by play, second by second. And when the work meets the win, it deserves to be remembered forever. Southern recognition, setting your championship in stone.
For over 100 years, the Southern Conference has competed at the highest level, valuing college athletes on and off the field, and playing a key role in their development. The Knight Commission has recognized the SoCon as a care champion, committed to the education and well-being of our future leaders. Ideal geography, tremendous opportunity, unified values, and celebrating authenticity. In the Southern Conference, it's all here.
It was all UNC Greensboro yesterday in a blowout win over Wofford 19-4. And while it's not quite as lopsided, they have dominated the proceedings here with a berth in the championship game on the line, looking to add to the 5-0 advantage against Claire MacArthur in her second inning of relief for Samford. And it is the top of the order, Michael, who homered last time up, leading things off.
UNCG has done a good job today of extending their offensive innings. I mentioned earlier how well they have batted with 2 outs. They've advanced their runners today additionally. They've had the extra base hits. And we started off this broadcast and talking about how dominant these two teams have been with the bat, but don't disregard the pitching and the fielding. And certainly the pitching today for UNCG is passed the test. And in a lot of ways, I feel like Turner threw a very good game so far, and she just hasn't had any help from her team offensively.
Hard hit ball in the left field. Michael on for a 3rd time today. See Janelle Brenneman there. I thought it was very enlightening, or maybe matter of fact, when I asked her what her philosophy is, and she says, we want to hit the ball as hard and as far as possible.
Yeah. If that's all that it ever took, right, we would all be coaching.
Be aggressive on offense, get swings off, hit the ball hard. Yeah, the recruiting piece has a piece to do with the
yes,
success.
Without question. It's like getting asked by a child, how do I do this math problem? Get it right. Which I have proven is not always the easiest thing to do.
Well, 13 plus 19, in fact, does not, or 14 plus 19 does not equal 23.
You're not going to forget that, apparently.
Well,
nor should you.
I'm a numbers guy.
yeah, I can tell. I can tell. I think the catcher got touched here. They're going to give her a chance to be okay. Again, an opportunity here as a pitcher to target a corner if you want. Yep.
This is the type of experience for Claire MacArthur, regardless of what happens in this tournament, that will really benefit her down the line. Chopped up the middle, diving stop by Shaw, feeds second and gets the lead runner.
If you can't get it there, roll it there, right? Watch this.
Gets the job done. That's your conference player of the year.
I think what you saw there was just partially was a relationship between shortstop and second baseman. Talk a lot about the relationship between the pitcher and the catcher. But Nelson, that's not something you would expect to have to do, right?
Second one, first a double play. There you talked about him, Nelson and Shaw. Shaw and Nelson, they turn the twin killing.
You couldn't do it any differently, right? You had the slow roller, and now you got the hot sauce.
Flashy defense by Samford, but they need 5 in the 7th to stay alive. In a game that was shortened because of the run roll, Brooklyn Schroyer against Wofford went 4 innings and gave up 3 hits and no runs. And today she has limited Samford to only a single hit, and she needs 3 outs to pitch her team into the championship game tomorrow.
I didn't anticipate Samford getting to this point of the game and being one of 19, right?
Schroyer has been a tough customer, and whether it be Samford or the winner of the late game, the second game today, they're going to have to come up with an answer if she gets through this. She hasn't thrown that many pitches. She only threw 4 innings and 76 pitches yesterday. Janelle Brenneman and the Spartans going to feel real confident rolling her out with a championship on the line, assuming things don't go awry here.
Yeah, and I would not expect Samford to come out of this game being too disheartened, right? I mean, this game has been on a wire.
Well, their focus is going to be on either Wofford or Chattanooga and trying to get through later today. But if they get to tomorrow and they have to face the same woman who they had very little success with last weekend and not much better today, I don't know. Maybe mentally it doesn't matter. It's the championship game and you're hyped up. A run here would help, but that's not going to do it. Katie Campbell flies out for the first out of the inning.
Number 30, Ella Nelson.
Gonna make another change here, I guess. Or not.
Nelson has popped out and reached on an error. One of only 3 base runners in the game for Samford. Hart singled in the 3rd inning and was caught stealing. Nelson reached on an error leading off the 5th, and Brantley Drake walked in the 5th. Other than that, no success offensively for the Bulldogs, who are 27-29, played one of the most difficult schedules in the country. 14-7 during SoCon play. Nelson has gone on strikes, and Schroyer is 1 out away.
Yeah, their schedule captured everybody's attention. And I would say that the result has been that they learned from it.
Then they had that big win over Alabama.
Number 3, Addison Smith.
Maybe if you're in a championship game tomorrow and you're Samford and Schroyer has been close to unhittable, you think back to that Alabama game. If we can beat them, we can beat anybody.
You got to find confidence somewhere. And it may also change your approach in your lineup. You may think, as we talked about earlier, you may have to think earlier about being aggressive on the base paths. What does that look like? How do we generate that? But this offense has not had any rhythm today.
A completely dominant effort by Brooklyn Schroyer, and the number 1 seeded Spartans of UNC Greensboro are on their way to tomorrow's championship game.
This is a team that has shown us now that they can win with big runs and that they can also play good defense and get fabulous pitching, and that's the reason why they're advancing with very little trouble so far.
19-4 yesterday against Wofford, and a 1-hit shutout here as we take a look at our Visit Chattanooga updated bracket, where we see Greensboro into the final, and Samford will play the winner of Wofford and Chattanooga in the final game today, with a berth in the title match against this Spartan team on the line.
Now the Spartans today, they had ace-like pitching, had a very efficient offense, and they executed situational ball today. And they're over there celebrating the bracket, knowing that they've got a chance to put a bow on what's been a very good season. Still got a ways to go, but they're one step closer for sure.
Brooklyn Schroyer mowing him down here in the Scenic City.
Just watch where all these pitches are today. I mean, she did handle the outside portion very well, but she also wasn't afraid to come inside, which is the sign of a confident pitcher. And she was okay throwing up in the zone as well.
And Brooklyn Schroyer is with Mackenzie.
Brooklyn, time and time again, your team seems to have undoubted confidence in you. What does it mean for you to come into big games like that and knowing that your team has that in you?
Yeah, I know, like, it's just good being out there and, like, they want to be out there with me, you know? Like, they always have my back and they put in the work. And so knowing that, like, we're all at practice together, we put in the work together, so we all have confidence in each other.
You are now one step closer to the championship. What is your mindset going into a game like this?
Just the same thing. You know, have my teammates' backs and they'll have mine.
And as you can see, I would say you guys are pretty close.
Yeah, we're really close.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Pretty close and pretty loose.
Yes. This is the type of performance that is very dangerous and very difficult to deal with in tournament play. You controlled the counts, you avoided mistakes defensively, and you just, again, put too much offensive pressure on the other team to overcome.
Brooklyn Schroyer and the UNC Greensboro Spartans get it done, and they're on to the championship game. For Todd Agnew and Mackenzie Johnson, I'm Dave Friedman. Game 2 of 3 coming up in about an hour from Chattanooga.